Hello everybody, this is Dr. Connors, and this video is going to help you understand this binder that you're getting, this 3-ring binder that has your protocol in it. So we're going to go over this. So this is what your binder looks like. This says cancer protocol binder or Lyme protocol binder or whatever you're dealing with. This is specifically for you. And in there, one of the first pages you're going to see is this one. So this is your specific protocol that I put you on based upon what we found in your testing, how I tested you. And so you may or may not have a daily perfusion drink. Um, and I will go over this with you, but it's for you to have in that first part of that 3-ring binder. You can take it out, tape it onto your refrigerator when you get home, so you know exactly what you're going to do on a daily basis. So it's really simple. I try to keep it super simple so it's not so complicated. You may put things in a profusion drink. You're going to have a specific diet that'll be later in the binder here, and specific nutritional protocol that you're going to follow, like you're going to take curcumin 3 per day or 6 per day. Are you going to split those through the day? Yes. Take 2 in the morning, 2 at lunch, 2 at dinner, or whatever. And down at the bottom, a may circle yes or no on this, whether you're going to continue with your other supplements. But usually there's some that I will say don't take, and there's many that I'll say go ahead and take these. These are good, but after you're done with those, make sure you let me know so that I can tell you if you want to reorder those or not. In the binder, you're going to have tabs. One of the tabs is the gut check tab. Now you're going to see, if you haven't already, a video on the gut check and why that's so important. So we go over this on that video, removing foods that cause damage to your gut, and taking prebiotics, taking probiotics, and whatever else that we might have you do. So there's a whole video dedicated to that, so I won't spend time on it here. Another part of the binder is diet. So what are you eating? So just remember that first page on there says this is a diet, not a religion. So I don't want you to think that you're going to die or it's going to cause your cancer to grow like crazy if you had something like a piece of bacon today or something when I had you off of pork. It's not that rigid. But you do want to hold as tightly to it as possible. So there's going both ways. There's some people think, oh, well, he said not to eat this, but I only eat it once a day now. So you can fall the too liberal or too conservative, you could say, on this program. So I don't want you to be so anal that it's going to drive you crazy, but I do want you to follow it as best you can. Now you're going to see sheets like this. So can I eat meat? Yes or no? If it's yes, then underneath it says some things. So it says it should be grass-fed if possible, organic whenever possible, lamb, buffalo, elk, venison, beef, goat, or veal. That's what we're talking about when we're talking about this category of meat. So try to eat it as close to the way God made it in everything you do. That's your general rule of thumb. So if you're going to eat, if I say yes on eating beef, and you're going to just go down to the grocery store and buy a regular hamburger, it's probably all grain-fed. It's probably grain-fed with GMO grain. And, there's just probably a lot of chemicals, maybe additives, colorings, maybe a lot of antibiotics that have been injected in these animals. So it's not the best source. Is it that you can never buy that and eat that? Because you can't always get grass-fed organic. I understand that. You're just trying to do the best. Follow me? So, under pork, it says, well, we need to change that. It should be grass-fed. Pigs don't eat grass, so it's not going to be grass-fed. But most of the time with cancer patients, we take them off of pork. So, just so you know. Pork is not the best thing for anybody to eat. However, if you don't have cancer, can you eat pork once in a while? Yes, you can. It's everything within moderation. But just understand, underneath each one of these headings, it talks about the best sources for these different foods. So even if it's yes, make sure you try to eat it as organically as possible. Almost everybody can eat as many vegetables as they want, unless on the genetic test, which we won't find out for a number of weeks. Typically, the genetic test that we're going to have you do, if we're going to have you do it, takes about 4 weeks to get back. If you do have, let's say, a COMP defect, which you don't know what that is yet, I may take you off chicken and turkey. If you have a CBS defect, I may take you off some sulfur-containing foods for a period of time. So just to know that any of this diet thing can change when I get some of your other labs back. So I'm going to be checking as best as we know how now. So, and then as we get some labs back, we're going to revisit all this. So if you're from a distance, we're going to talk on the phone of different things that we might need to do. So read through these. I will check off yours personally. Try to do your best to stick to them as best you can. Also in here it says, why buy organic foods? We understand. Most of you all know the answer to this, but everybody's coming from a different place, and maybe you don't understand what that is. So read through some of this information too, and the things that when you go to the grocery store, that you really, really want to eat organically. Those are the clean fruits and vegetables on the bottom that maybe you could buy that are not organic, and then the ones in the middle of this list, the high pesticide fruits and vegetables, are the ones that you really want to buy organic if whenever possible. Most people go on a gluten-free diet. So why? Because gluten is so highly inflammatory and it's so damaging to your gut. So we don't want damage and inflammation in your gut. That's going to cause inflammation in the rest of your body, certainly inflammation in your brain. That's going to set off a cascade of problems. So this little flyer is getting to know gluten. There's no way we could do a good job of giving you gluten information. There's just a lot of websites out there that are dedicated to gluten that we just can't compete with. So we refer you to Google gluten-free eating, gluten-free diet for you to really get an understanding of what that is. Also, there's going to be other instructions in here. Many of you are going to have start on coffee enemas right away. Many of you were not. Many of you, we will have you do castor oil packs. They are very comforting. They're very comfortable to do. They're very relaxing. They can be really healthful in drawing toxins out of your liver. The reason why you do coffee enemas or castor oil packs is really to get your liver detox pathways going, and they can be very beneficial in all sorts of problems. So that's your binder. Also in your binder, I didn't have a slide of this, there's a whole section on really looking at the emotional side, because every disease has an emotional component to it. You cannot ignore it. So I don't care if you're agnostic or an atheist or whatever your belief and your faith is, you really want to go through that emotional component section and take the little quiz, the little test by yourself, quiet time of the day, where you could just be alone with yourself and with God and ask Him to reveal some things through taking that little test, that little quiz in there. You don't have to share it with me or anybody else, but believe me, we've had lots and lots of unbelievable testimonies of people that have done that and have realized just emotional damage in their life that wasn't even done by somebody who was trying to emotionally damage them. So it's just the way they took it as a 7-year-old or a 12-year-old or whatever. So it can be very, very helpful. So that's a good place to start. So we're going to be adding stuff to your binder maybe through the course of your treatment. We might be subtracting from your binder. So this is always to your go-to. So make sure you use this as your go-to. Also in your binder, which I don't have a slide on either, is your instructions for the Rife machine. We redid the instructions for the Rife, so it makes it a little simpler to understand. And contact support for Mike at TrueRife if you have anything go wrong as well. All right, hope this helps.